We're back out here on the porch. The weather is incredible. Feels great. So don't mind sitting out here and talking for a little while without having to worry about busting a sweat.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Neither one of us needs a fan. So today, we wanted to talk about something that we think is pretty important, especially for us, and that is relationships abroad. You know, we can talk a lot about preparation when it comes to a couple moving abroad, and we're only speaking about couples. Of course, the prep process and everything that you have to go through when it comes to moving abroad, all the changes you have to make, all the documentation and luggage and all the other crap. And then the one thing that I think people maybe don't talk about enough is trying to maintain your relationship abroad, because it's now you and that person. And it's just you and that person.
Yes.
And how well can you deal with just you and that person? We didn't rehearse that. So yeah, it can be tricky, and we know everyone's personalities are different.
Exactly.
And LaShawn and I, if you actually know us, you know that we argue and fight all the time.
It's not all the time.
Well,
it's only when somebody's around they don't know and it catch them off guard.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's kind of like how we deal with each other.
Yeah. Well, they argue all day. No.
Like people would think that we are, and that's just us.
That's just us. We're the grandparents that's been together like 50 years.
Yeah.
And like shut that damn door.
So that's just kind of how we talk to each other sometimes. So, but we understand that maintaining a relationship it can be difficult. When you're away from your friends and family that you've been around for most of your life.
Yeah, because when you move abroad, you don't move solo as much as you would in the States, especially when your spouse, your partner want to know like where you are, so anything happens, they can get to you quickly.
Yeah.
Or they want to be there because I understand if something happens to me and he's not with me, I feel like he's going to blame himself. Yeah. So you're around each other more so than you would be if you were in the States.
Right. Depending on the length of your relationship, obviously, and how strong that relationship was before you left, will help determine, how well you deal with this situation.
Yes.
Because for us, when we moved here, we'd already been married 23 years.
Yes.
Yeah. We're coming up on 26. So we'd already been married 23 years. So we pretty much knew all the things we loved and disliked and hated about each other. So
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Those things had already been determined. And it's not like we found out new things, when we moved abroad. And we had the advantage of doing that pretty much an entire year where during COVID, where you worked at home. And I still had to go to work, but she was at home all the time. So I was used to
coming home,
having my time off.
His me time.
Yeah, like, and I had weird schedules all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd always have like weekdays off, and I could just kind of do whatever.
Because I'm at work.
Right, she was at work.
He can do anything. He can play the game like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I'd be in the gym for a couple hours.
Yeah, he had his whole day planned out.
She'd have dinner ready when she got home,
Right. Now, some days before COVID, if I had taken off to surprise him,
I'd be like, oh, my day is ruined.
Your day is ruined? That's what you... See, I didn't know that. I ruined his day. I thought maybe I just messed it up, but no, I ruined it. Okay. But anyway, yeah, I would do that, and he was like, I had stuff planned. I'm like, what did you have planned? Man.
Nothing.
I was going to play some PS5 and this and that. I'm like, oh, I messed up your day. Okay.
But
that's
just how our relationship was. So
yeah.
COVID definitely let us know
if
we could deal with each other on a daily basis. And I'm sure a lot of other couples kind of went through that in the last few years, where their relationships were tested because of COVID and lockdowns and work from home, especially if both partners work from home. Oh, I couldn't even imagine. Couldn't even imagine.
You can imagine what?
I couldn't imagine. Like we're both at home working. Nah.
Okay, no.
No. I didn't mind if, she was at home working because I was off. I could do whatever.
Right.
And I was out of her way.
Yeah,
But
but we both working? No. Ooh.
Competing for the kitchen during lunch? No. In the break room, in our break room, in the kitchen. No. Hell no.
And then one get mad and say, shouldn't you be going back to your desk?
Yeah. I need you to get your stuff out of the microwave.
Why are you clocking me? Why are you clocking me?
I need to use the microwave.
So, yeah, it was good that I worked from home and he was still working. And that was a plus for him because a lot of times he didn't have to cook unless he was off and he wanted to, but I was home. And it was definitely a test then. It's not a test now because we've been here almost, we're going on 3 years now.
Yeah, this is we're going into our
third year.
Yeah.
So
we've so far passed the test.
Yes, okay.
But we have to if we want to give advice, and this is just from our point of view, we say that if you're trying to do something like this, you want to move abroad together, you definitely need to know what it's like to be confined with this person for longer than the length of a vacation.
Right. Now, I will say this. Don't get a 1 bedroom, 1 bath.
Yeah, don't start like that.
No, don't start that off. Because I can tell you right now, it may be less than 90 days. You be like, my tour, what'd you say, my tourist visa's coming up, I gotta go.
Unless, I don't know. Some people are different. Just for us, no, that just wouldn't work. We need at least 2 bathrooms.
We need 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Definitely from our point of view, when it comes to advice, see what it's like to be around that person for a long period of time, if you can, if that's possible.
Yeah, just solo.
Yeah, we know that, some couples come here and they've only been together for a year or 2, maybe 3. They're still new at it. And there's things that they're gonna have to work out abroad.
Right.
And those things can be harder to work out away from friends and family, where you don't have that immediate connection.
Or that immediate exit.
Right.
Like if I was back in the States and we had an exchange, I can go hang out at a friend's. He can go wherever he goes and come back. We wouldn't be gone all day. It would be a couple of hours, especially the mall. Now that was my place. I would do
come back with bags of
retail therapy.
Yeah. I guess you were mad at me. All right.
Retail therapy. I feel better now. Let's start. Let me show you what I bought and stuff like that. So here, we have a small mall, but it's not like I can just leave if I'm upset with him, catch a taxi to go there.
Or get a bus. No.
That's not happening.
You ain't going nowhere without me.
And then I come out here on the balcony.
Yeah. So yeah, we got to learn to deal with each other, and it's not like we don't have disagreements and arguments and things of that nature here. We're definitely not perfect.
No.
But we've learned that this is our space. We're confined to it because we've connected ourselves at the hip. Basically, we're rarely apart from each other, and that's a decision that we made. So we know that we just have to deal with our issues then, or maybe give it a little rest.
Yeah.
Get a little sleep on it and then deal with it. But yeah, if this is something you're planning to do, you need to know that the person you're with is somebody you don't mind actually being with for a long time, alone.
Right. And what I will say is, even though we're connected at the hip physically, at the moment, we still care enough to not want that person to leave.
Right.
We still care enough to say, I'm sorry, my bad. Why I didn't think about it that way. You have to talk it out.
Right.
You can't just internalize it and not talk about it and just move on. Because if you do that, it's just growing and festering inside of you, and you don't want that big blowout.
Yeah, and just speaking as a man, she can't make me mad enough to where I just let her walk out of the door. You know what I'm saying? she can't possibly make me that mad where I would just let her leave for several hours and I don't know where she is here in Ecuador. Hell no. So I just have to understand that, like, okay, no matter how mad I am, she's still not walking out of here by herself. Even if I got to walk 15 feet behind her, she's not leaving out here by herself. You got to be comfortable in your relationship and know your boundaries, know what it is you can deal with. If there has to be some kind of couples therapy before you move abroad, that may be an option. That may be best, honestly, depending on your relationship. Because you might not know. You might think that it's great until you're isolated with that person. And, you know, it's like you see like a cartoon or a movie or something where two people are stranded on an island. And at first they're friends, and then, you know, a month later they're trying to kill each other. Yeah. You don't want to be in that situation.
No. We actually have a lot of good times. Great times together because we do a lot of stuff together that we didn't do before we got here. We did some of the things, but we like playing games with one another, testing one another, challenging one another. So especially like cooking, you know, cooking, drawing, whatever the case may be. But yeah, you gotta like the person you're going to move abroad with.
Yeah, we're both a little silly, so that helps.
Sometimes I'm more sillier than he is.
Sometimes I am a lot like, you didn't think that was funny? Okay.
A lot of times.
She's like, oh, no, Steve. Hey, whatever. I can entertain myself for days, y'all.
Yeah, he can.
But, and also like with the YouTube, you know, we keep ourselves busy with that. It's just something that it's time consuming, and it tests your brain a little bit to try to, you know, edit videos and everything. So we have hobbies, and that is something as a couple that you will need to figure out.
Yeah.
And do you have things that can keep you busy? And I know for LaShawn, it was a little bit more of a struggle when we first got here, because in the US, she didn't really have a lot of like hobbies that she would do for long periods of time. Whereas I've been doing the same things pretty much since she met me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she had to kind of adjust and figure out like, okay, what do I want to do to stay busy today versus tomorrow versus the next day?
Because I'm not consistent in that. I go from one thing to the next. You know, I may crochet, I may knit, I may draw, I may make pottery,
cook,
whatever. It's just, I don't like the same repetitive hobbies.
Yeah, I can do the same thing every day.
I cannot. I get bored.
Yeah.
You know.
So figure out what your hobbies are, the things that will keep you occupied even when your spouse is getting on your nerves. Because there's nothing worse than being mad at each other and still don't have nothing to do.
The one thing I will tell you that will, like us, bring us together, I can be in the kitchen, he'll turn on the music, and then we're both singing, and then next thing you know, we're dancing.
Yeah, you know, might get a little drink, play a little cards or whatever, and
the
we're
music
chilling.
leads to that.
Right.
So music brings us together.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
whatever brings you two, the two parties together.
Yep. Find that thing. You know what it is before you leave, and you're probably going to discover a few things afterwards. But
did you discover something about me?
No, I don't mean discover things about the other person.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
What?
I realized you didn't really have any hobbies.
See, this is how it starts an argument. But go ahead.
No, what I mean is you may discover things about yourselves and about things that you like and dislike that you didn't really know before
you didn't notice.
Yeah, you didn't notice before you moved abroad because you just weren't exposed to that or whatever. And you definitely, I will say this, you can entertain yourself with like other expats because that's going to be a thing no matter where you go. That's just not our particular thing. So
but we do go out.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
Just to break up the monotony of the everyday things that we do.
Right.
So we will go out every now and then. It's not on a regular basis.
Right. And Now that's like I said, it depends on the person and how often you want to do stuff like that. Some people want to do it a lot more often than maybe we do, and some people less than us. Some people are more hermits than we are. But you got to know where you lie, and it's better to know as much of that as possible before you leave, because you may be in a situation somewhere where it's basically perfect for you when it comes financially, scenery, and everything, but there's no social life for you, and it's miserable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you could be somewhere where the social life is great, but you hate where you live. So you got to know what you're looking for and what you're gonna be comfortable with, and what you're willing to put up with until you find what you're looking for.
Also, do not try to force the person you're with to go with you abroad if they're not interested, because they're going to resent you for it.
Yeah. We can't tell you what steps to take then. We're not going that far.
So it's like if they're not on board, don't do it.
Yeah. Change
Don't
plans.
do it. You know, maybe you want to move, I don't know, someplace closer, or find a agreeable
Middle ground.
Yeah.
We know that there are people who they're not gonna change what they've known their whole life.
Right.
And like that's just what it is. And if that's the person you married, then you might not even want to bother with the whole hey, you want to move abroad question, because you're like, what are you talking about?
Because if you're happy where you
Never
are,
left this town.
Stay where you are.
Yeah.
If you're
you're happy,
you're doing great.
Yeah.
Stay.
I will tell anybody. I don't care where I live or whatever life I have. If you're happy where you are, stay where you are, because happy means more than anything, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So just know that you need to be on equal footing when you decide to move abroad with a partner. Make sure they're really on board.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I guess we should have started with that,
Yeah,
right?
make sure they're really on board, because it sounds good, because sometimes going abroad, you see the scenery, and say you're going to a tropical area where the climate is 78 degrees and you got palm trees and it is blue water. You're like, ooh, I like this. 6 months later, you're like,
it's been the same every day. I'm tired of this.
Or you're not doing anything. The excitement has worn off.
Worn off, yeah.
The instant gratification is gone.
Yeah.
And so now this is reality.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry, on that note, like our first 6 months here, it was like a 6-month vacation. Like that's what it felt like.
Yes.
Almost like it wasn't real that we weren't going back to the States. And after about 6 months, we started to kind of
mellow out.
Yeah. And that was like 6 months after we got here. I think we went to Bali. And
I needed a break.
Yeah, we needed a break. Yeah, we needed a break.
Yeah.
And like after that, it was just kind of like, okay, this is just normal life. This is our everyday flow.
Right.
And there's nothing crazy exciting, nothing, too boring. It's just right where it needs to be for us.
So, like you said, we were here 6 months before we went to Bali, but before we got to Bali, I was starting to feel the weight of being here and not doing anything, because we were going through a period of where it was just cloudy just about every day.
Yeah.
So that weighed in on
like 3 months. Like it was cloudy every day.
That weighed on me, because I was just like, ain't no sun, and like feeling depressed. And Bali came. We got to Bali, it was sunny.
There was rain.
It was sunny and rain,
Yeah.
but it only rained for a few minutes, and my spirit and my attitude started to change, because I needed that. I needed some sunlight. I needed vitamin D.
Yeah,
I needed a change of scenery.
And soon after we got back, the sun started coming out here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the transition for me to where we are now was very helpful. By taking that vacation, breaking it up, going back, coming back, then we went again. And you may have to have those breaks in order for you to be, to succeed here.
Yeah.
In a place wherever you choose abroad.
Because that's happened to us like maybe 3 times since we've been here, where, after a certain amount of months, 5, 6 months or whatever, you're like, okay, we need a break. We need to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And we've done that with 3, so
About three to 4 times. Yeah, and if you need it, you do. You know, if you are
Do it.
able to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Because it definitely will help. And when you're away, you want to come back even more because
Which is crazy.
you're
Yeah.
like, I want to go back to this calm feeling.
Yeah.
So our trips abroad,
Every time we've left here, we be like, okay, I'm ready to go back now.
yeah. And so it's almost like we're get used to staying longer and longer
Yeah.
here rather than going away. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So we hope that this will help someone or
Yes.
some couples. If it does, let us know. Hit us up in the comments. If you got any questions, hit us up. You can visit our other channels. The links will be in the description. Check out our game show that we made recently. We're going to have another one coming
So much fun.
soonish.
So much fun.
So much fun. We had so much fun doing that. So yeah, give that a watch. And, like the video, share, subscribe. And, we'll be back again, as always. Maybe from the porch, maybe somewhere else. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for watching.